Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. As you can see, we have started slightly later. The reason for that is we just witnessed about a 115-minute game between Munster and Toulouse to see who was going to be the first team in that semi-final. And just like that, it is going to be Toulouse who go through. Leinster have actually just scored themselves a try right as we started this live stream. And that will help them out very much so. And also Katie is here and said, go Leinster. But what a game of rugby between Munster and Toulouse, and it's fair to say that was mental. It was, but it is going to be Josh Van den Fleur who goes in, scores the first try time. Leinster sets goal. So I guess we tuned in for the perfect moment of this game, but I do apologise to anyone who wasn't watching that game between Munster and Toulouse, and we were ready to go at the start of this match, as we did not anticipate that game going for an extra half an hour to 40 minutes longer than it initially was going to. But Josh Van den Fleur does score the try, and we will add him to the try scorers list in the 16th minute. And like I mentioned, perfect time to come in, as Leinster have just been able to get themselves their first try and try Leinster. So whoever wins this game goes through the face Toulouse, we now know. And that could be Leinster versus Toulouse, maybe trying to get themselves a little bit of revenge for what happened to Munster only a short time ago. But now it is going to be Johnny Sexton who will be lining up this kick. And it will quickly end up one moment. We will go like this and we will go like that. I better bring up the lineups, because we have not quite done that as of yet. But yeah, the last game was absolutely insane. It was hectic. It was everything that I had never seen before in a game of rugby, going the full 20 minutes extra time. And then on top of that, having a penalty shootout. And that penalty shootout was brilliant. Go Toulouse. Says Carl Peterson there as well. But currently, as we do sit, Leinster have taken a 10-0 lead, and score is actually 10-0. To Leinster there, have flash score. There we go. They have updated it. And it's also 10-0 to La Rochelle in their game up against Montpellier, which is the other game taking place at this exact moment. And whoever wins that game between La Rochelle and Montpellier will face the winner of Racing 92 and the Sale Sharks. This one now kicked in behind. They are just showing the starting lineups for everyone who is just tuning in. I will do the same for you guys while we are having a bit of a break here, while they are playing a bit of aerial ping pong. It's going to be the penalty for offside in favour of Leinster. But I'm so glad I made the lineups when I did. I wasn't initially going to make the lineup animation for this game until after the game, but luckily I decided, you know what, while I'm here, I might as well do this one. And because of it, we have got the lineup here: Alice Genge, Horia Montoya, and Dan Cole as the front row. Then it is Ollie Chisholm starting in at number 4, and then Green will be number 5, kicking for touch there for Leinster, and they will be about 22 metres out. It is at Welford Road for this game. I should also mention Lindenberg there at number 6, then Reffel and Jasper Visa there starting in at 8. Ben Youngs, George Ford. Then at number 12, it will be Porter, Matthias Maroni starting in there. Chris Ashton, Harry Potter, and Freddie Stewart as the lineup for the Leicester Tigers. Then this is the side that Leinster have gone with: Andrew Porter, Ronan Gallagher, and Tyg Furlong. Then Maloney and Ryan, Caelan Doris, Jack Conan, and Josh Van den Fleur, the try scorer from a little bit earlier on in the match. Jameson Gibson Park, Johnny Sexton, Robbie Henshaw, Gary Ringrose, O'Brien, Lowe, and Hugo Keenan. It's a back 3. For those one of Munster supporters will be heading to the pubs to drown their sorrows and feel sorry for Kana. Can't even imagine this is the worst, or this is worse than losing by 1 point on aggregate like us, says Sebastian. Yeah, losing after playing 100 minutes of rugby, and it all comes down to your kickers. Unfortunately, like, I'd hate to be Ben Healy there, because, like, it's not his fault. At the end of the, like, yes, he missed his kicks, but what I mean by it's not his fault is they had 100 minutes to win that game, and they weren't able to do so. So I feel like all the pressure cannot just be put on him to say, like, oh, he cost us the game. I'm quickly going to adjust my hair, or my headset, because my hair was sticking up like I was some sort of rooster. And cheers, mate, says Lone Wolf. Imaging as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Jameson Gibson Park passes it off to Gary Ringrose, now only 10 metres out from the line here for Leinster. And they will be trying to get themselves a nice, comfortable win here, but it will be tough. And also, by the way, I love these Leinster collars. The metal, or the matte navy and gold. It looks so smart and crisp. With the 10 out of 10, currently only 10 metres out from the line. We can hear the Leicester chants going around Welford Road. 20 minutes into this game. That's the thing. This game's going to feel like the shortest game of rugby we've ever watched, because it probably will be, because we missed the first 15 minutes. Now, Porter considered going for it. He has actually recently shaved his head, or not completely, but he did end up cutting it very short, and that was for some sort of charity organisation. So good on him for that one. Leinster very close now over, and it's another try. Is that Josh Van den Fleur again? No, it's not. Who's gone in there? Is that the number? Oh, it's Robbie Henshaw. and girl Navy and gold, boy, blue and yellow. And then I'll be playing for a penalty shootout. But expect the unexpected, says Carl Peterson. And I think that Champions Cup rugby has definitely taught us just that. Like, I couldn't believe what we were seeing for that one. But that is the next try of this match for Leinster. I think they were just waiting for us to join. And then they decided, why not score the tries now that he is watching? Robbie Henshaw gets the try in the 20th minute. And this game seems like it's just starting to speed up with the momentum going in favour of the Irish team, Leinster. And also try to try Leinster. Says Katie Dixon now lined up for Johnny Sexton straight out in front. Kicks it over. And I am back. And they're from Rory. Welcome back, mate. I hope you are doing well. I feel like I'm talking in fast motion currently, and it's going to be extremely hard to go to sleep after this game because, like, I am just in such a hyper mood as we currently said. And I'm sad that Munster lost, says Rory. Yeah, it's a rough one for Munster, but to lose, they will be up against Leinster in their next game by the looks of it, the way that it's currently sitting, 17-0. Here we go. Liquid. I'm going to need plenty of it today. Leinster, they are sitting 17-0. The scoreboard is being a little bit slow. That one, and also this is a solid lead for Leinster already. And yeah, you remember the name, says Rory. And also I went to the university for graphic design. I was punished for not knowing these colours. Says Katie Dixon there. It's going to be kicked high by Jameson Gibson Park. That one's not finding the touchline. Harry Potter is able to take it. I'm going to keep the puns about him being a wizard to a minimum for this game. My dad is from Leinster, so yay. And Hamish, thanks for the live stream. I'm off. Have a blessed week for you in the chat. Exactly. Straight back at you, Carl. And yeah, I hope you did enjoy the games. I got into a whole entire fight with my friend at Applebee's once because she thought I made up the colour Kelly Green. And there says Katie Dixon. So I guess question, Katie, was the dress black and blue or was it yellow or white and gold? Wasn't it that one? And may just go, why did I sound like I was like telling a like kind of children's book? You know how like you got to read it out for book week? That sounded like I was trying to tell a magical story. James, though, currently, he looks like he's got the green hair ties for this matchup, trying to hold his hair in place. And this is going to be a tough game for Leicester Tigers, definitely because they are currently sitting 17-0 down already in the early stages. La Rochelle are on fire in their game. They are currently sitting in a very good position, sitting 15-0 up. And then they won. My brother traveled 3 hours to get to that match. I mean, at least the match almost went for 3 hours, so he kind of got more of his money's worth, if that is something that is a positive to look at. No worry, Hamish, no one will believe that we read anyway, says Sebastian. Yeah, nah. Like, books are hard, aren't they? You just pretty much, like, if there's a movie out about it, it's shorter and it's quick. Do read, though, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who is still in school, be sure to get your education. Read a lot of books because they say the more you learn, the more you earn. That was a comment from Ty Lopez, who had a Lamborghini in his garage. Remember that ad, ladies and gentlemen? Was a little while ago on YouTube. Now Henshaw once again using the crash ball wide cut out pass. Nicely done, and it's gone wide out to O'Brien. Going to be back in his pace, and boy, he's got plenty of it. He's been dragged down nicely, though. And a good tackle for Matthias Maroni, and it's become a penalty. Come on, Leicester. And then, okay, I will. Says Rory, good lad. Sure to get plenty of education. Currently, La Rochelle, they have got a 17-point lead, and Victor Vito was the man who went in for the try, the Kiwi. So we might see La Rochelle taking on either Montpellier either Racing 92 or the other team, which will be Sale Sharks. Well, that one, but currently 24 minutes 31 through this game, 17-0 to Leinster. 24 minutes 22 through this game, 17-0 to La Rochelle. I'm from Dublin, and Leinster, come on, Leinster. And there says Luke, and also, oh my God, brutal jokes come into mind. I'm not sure if I should. Is it to do with a garage? Or I guess probably. So I'll do that. And also, well done to my Toulouse. And their first time in a long time that I saw penalty shootouts in rugby. It's actually, for me, it's the first ever time I've seen it. And the fact that it's the first ever time I've seen it, plus it was the first ever time I'd seen it and it was a live stream, just made it feel so special for that one as well. But it just kept on going. Like that live stream, like I mentioned, it's the longest one that we've done that didn't have a post-contact one. And reading, actually. I see. Currently now 25 minutes through this game. 15 minutes left of this first half. It has flown by, reason being we've only done 10 minutes of the game due to how long that other game went. So anyone who tunes into this live stream after it's gone live, they will be very confused. They'll be like, where did the first 14 minutes go of this game? But a lot of people would have been watching that Munster versus Toulouse game. And who would have thought that about 40 minutes extra between the games would have not been enough. James Lowe, backline, not quite working out. And it's going to be now the Wizard Harry Potter. Sorry, I said I wouldn't call him that. And it's going to be a little knock on. Magically left the hands now. Jameson Gibson Park goes back across into the hands of Andrew Porter. Now Dan Cole gets straight on it, but they're going back for the initial penalty. And also, while the ref is defo, not a homer in this, says Fleshin. But currently, they are booing the Leicester Tigers fans. I wonder if Maxi was ever in a game that went to penalty shootout, and he might share with us what it's like, says Katie Dixon. I think he's had a couple games that have gone past the 80. I don't know whether or not penalty shootout, though, which would just be, like, you can't imagine the nerves of the kickers. Like, normally big kicks happen during the game, but knowing if you miss this, your team lose, like, after playing 100 minutes of rugby is just the next level of, I guess, like, just pressure and also just sadness, I guess, if you do miss it. There we go. Liquid. Currently now, front rows having a bit of trouble, but the battle that I'm liking in this matchup is, of course, Alice Genge up against Tyke Furlong. It's been mentioned many times. Another battle in this game, George Ford taking on Johnny Sexton. These games are literally like that game that we witnessed just before. It was pretty much Ireland versus France. This game is England versus Ireland. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it ends up. That game is actually France versus France at the moment for Montpellier versus La Rochelle. And it sits currently 17-0 in favour of the La Rochelle side. Now Jameson Gibson Park feeds the ball in. Gone off the back to Jack Gona. Now Jameson Gibson Park gives it wide. It's a good shot on Hugo Keenan's midfield or midsection. I think it was actually O'Brien now that I think about it. A little bit of push and shove between him and Potter. And now it will be the line out. I'm just listening to the commentators. Okay, they said Harry Potter. Okay, they've actually just referenced it. They said that he was named 6 months after the book came out. Not literally, he hadn't been born at that point, but 6 months later was when they named him. They hadn't heard of the books at the time. So someone has asked him along his career, were you named after the character? Strip Club. There. Now it's going to be the back line. It's dropped by Harry Potter there. And I'll say, yeah, like if you lose, how do you console and comfort your one kicker teammate from, or fam who in his mind blew it for his team? How do you make him feel not like that? And also, hi brother, how are you doing today? Says Andy Mike, doing very well, thank you, mate. We've just witnessed an extra time penalty shootout in that other game. So my brain is scrambled at the stage. And it's actually quite nice. Like, it's not nice for the Leicester Tigers, but it's quite nice having a one-sided game that the brain can just relax for, you know? Like, that last game was a bit too hectic. Now I'm just in a chilled-out mindset of watching some good old rugby. Montpellier's just scored in their game. But, yeah, it's going to be tough for them. And also, why are you not doing IPL right now? And there says Andy Mike, pretty much rugby for us is always like the number one option. And then after that, it is the IPL. And I've learned, unfortunately, with all of these late night games, my sleep schedule links up, unfortunately, perfectly with the IPL, which has made it very tricky. But I guarantee you, England versus New Zealand test matches, we're going to be covering in any other games that we can of the test matches and also of the IPL. We'll hopefully be able to get in. But yeah, I've been very slack with the IPL, but yeah, it just hasn't quite worked out for the time zones. And I think I underestimated how it would go. And Montpellier's just scored. That sounds familiar. Sorry, Sebastian. That was kind of flashbacks, wasn't it? You'll be going for La Rochelle all the way, I would think. Or are you going for Montpellier so that the team that, you know, won that one would be able to win the competition? Jameson Gibson Park going through, looking for the 50-22 here. It's a good chase of the ball, and it's cooling. Jameson Gibson Park, just a little bit too much on it. And yes, I can understand, says Andy Mike, but I can guarantee you those cricket live streams, New Zealand versus England, will be worth the wait, because I am going to have my mums there with me on those ones at random hours of the night. I'm going to have to try and convince her. We'll see how it goes. By the one, it is currently quite warm in the lounge. I think that is because of the heat that I somehow generated from watching that last game. And also there's a bright light right there which is creating quite a bit of heat as well. But currently 30 minutes through this game, 17-0 in favour of Leinster. But have you been following all the games of the IPL, Andy? Do let me know. And who is the side that you think will be able to win it? And slouch mode engaged, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, I might have slouched a little bit there, didn't I? Straight down. Was I still in the frame? Hopefully I was. Hopefully I didn't drop too low. Well, that one. But currently, I think, like, I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight for about 3 hours once I do get to sleep. That's if I get to sleep. And then after that, going out for Mother's Day lunch. And then we've got the Brumbies taking on the Fijian Drua. That's a lie. I keep on saying the Brumbies, but it is not the Brumbies who are playing. Instead, it will be the Hurricanes up against the Fijian Drua. Well, that game out there's a guy waving his corn dog around in the crowd like it's a damn wizard wand, big guys, or wizard wand, I should say. And also we have got the brother say my hello to my mum also. I hope she is fine. And Stein says, Andy, she was joining me for a couple of the rugby ones earlier on today, which is quite a new venture, I guess you could say. And no, I don't hold any grudge of anything. The further they advance the competition, at least we can console ourselves with the fact that they were tough to take down. I like that attitude. Oh, there's a fight going on for two La Rochelle and Montpellier players currently. And it looked like they weren't quite breaking up. I think it was Ehire West. He's not exactly the biggest man in the world. Was having a fight, but now Leicester Tigers, they have got this ball back. Ben Youngs goes off. Now a wide ball. Freddie Stewart goes for the grab, but it goes into touch. Happy Mother's Day to Mum, missing my mum. And there says Andy there as well. Oh, yeah, because we're currently, what's the time that we are currently sitting at? I think we're about 5 p.m. or 5 a.m., I should say. We are indeed. So yeah, it's now ticked over to Mother's Day. So I believe we've got a lunch at about 12, somewhere around there. So I'll probably get to sleep at about 8, wake up at 11:30, get ready, go out for lunch, come home, do the next live stream, which will be the Brumbies. Oh, not the Brumbies. The Hurricanes taking on the Fijian Drua. And then I think George wants to come around after that. So we'll end up having George around for a couple hours. And then, yeah, that is going to be the day. And then I'll sleep. So I don't think I'll be able to do Racing 92 versus Sale Sharks more than likely tomorrow night, because by then I will be absolutely spent. If I wake up in time, though, I might consider it. Who knows? And also, old mum's at 10 times a lady today, says Katie Dixon. It's a nice run from Jesper Vesa now. Continuing to build. That's a knock-on once again from Leicester. And it's just mistake after mistake. 5 p.m. in London now. Abby's Mother's Day. Didn't even know. We celebrated on the 8th of March. Says Sebastian there. And also my mum. All mums are 10 times a lady today. And there as well. But it's just mistake after mistake here for Leicester Tigers currently in the early stages of this game. And Leinster, if they get themselves 1 or 2 more tries, you'd have to say maybe this game could be almost over before we get into the second half. And Happy Mother's Day, says David the Mod. And there. Do we have Novma? No, Novmum closed her eyes earlier on, didn't she, and went to sleep. Because if we still had a Novmum, I know that she is a mother. Is she the only mother we've got on the channel? Surely not. Surely we've got a couple other mothers around. Maybe? Not sure. Actually, hello, Katie, how you doing? And there as well. Currently, I do see the Kolkata Knight Riders 6 down in the cricket, which is not the best. Well, Andre Russell just got himself out. Now, big push from the Leicester Tigers, but Leinster, they are still going to have this one on their side, sitting 40 metres out. Gibson Park tries to find the offload, doesn't quite work out. It was a knock-on, I thought. And the crowd are booing for that one. It did look like an obvious knock-on. And the referee's been cleaned up, and now the crowd cheer because of it. And now going back into the hands of Robbie Henshaw, trying to drive his way over the try line for a second time in this matchup, but they are still 40 metres out. They've got a long way to go. Now, Caelan Norris after Johnny Sexton. James Lowe, nice cutout pass out into the hands of, I believe that is going to be Ronan Keller running the wing. I was like, hey, brother, you know, I just blew out my thyroid from the last game, and now I'm trying to recover from a flood of anxiety through my wrecked body. And also, we've got I've been referred to as a mother, but that's another story, and I won't go there, says David the Bottom, bro. I bring up mirror or something, can't see the game, says Sebastian. I felt so bad at the end of the last one because I knew how much people wanted to see it, and I just knew that YouTube would strike us as soon as we do it. Sadly. But yeah, I had to hold my own. There was half a second where I considered looking for sunglasses, and I do have some on the desk, but you didn't hear that from me. I don't own sunglasses. What are you on about? But now, currently hanging on to this ball. And Leicester, they have got this one. Dan Cole's joining the breakdown, and it will be Ben Youngs now. Very experienced player. He'll be putting up another box kick. There's only 4 minutes left of this first half. It feels so weird. And this is also a serious Katie says Andy Mike. And also, if you've been called a mother before, and then we need to calculate how many times a lady you are. It's Mother's Day. And also, yeah, the first time I genuinely felt bad for those asking for footage. Unprecedented moment, says Sebastian. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, no one was really saying it in an aggressive way, which I think, slippery on the ground. He has fallen down. Like, sometimes you get the ones who are like, show the game, you such and such, fill in the blank. I'm sure you guys could easily fill in that blank. That's a penalty to Leinster. So currently those blank words are probably being set by Leicester Tigers forward pack. But yeah, you kind of get, like, sometimes they're either very aggressive or they're just very, like, I guess, nice, and you feel terrible for not being able to show it. But yeah, that's why I always try and post that link to the Champions Cup YouTube channel, because at least that way they get to see some rugby for it. And 1985 Rugby World Cup final was a thriller, very similar to that game, says David the Mod. Yeah, my brain hurts after that game, that is for sure. And I don't think it could have been any closer if they tried. Like, I don't know how you go more than 100 minutes in 87, David. And there, says Sebastian as well. So 87, was that the World Cup we were talking about earlier on? It actually was. But it's taken nicely by Montpellier there. And Katie, I think you have to do, I read that as urinating. I think you have to do it for irritating me in there as well. And now currently Montpellier, 36 minutes into their game, they are sitting 17 down. And sorry, 1995 World Cup final. And there says David the Mod there. Now Johnny Sexton lining up for 3 points. This will give them a 20-point lead here for Leinster. And I guess the best way to describe this is they are breezing by in this game. And RK says Seb as well. Sexton lining up. If you guys have noticed, I have said slightly less words in this live stream. And I think that's just to try and savor my voice a little bit. Sexton strikes. Sexton gets it. And that will make the score now a little bit more. Oh, that was close to Montpellier getting themselves a try by the looks of it there. And their game, but what we will do is we'll go like this and we'll go like this, and hopefully it updates. Yes, it does. Currently 20-0 in favour of Leinster, the away side for this game. I'm not too sure where the next game is played. I think it is going to be played in France, I want to say, but it could actually be a Leinster home game. But I haven't quite worked that one out yet. Luckily, someone will tell me it's close to the semi-final, or close to the touchline, I should say. Well, Hugo Keenan, tries to kick it in behind, and it's hit the heel of Freddie Stewart. And also, we were to apply a scientific method. We need a control, and that is Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is exactly 10 times a lady. There you go. The more you know, eh? I know that this is going to be a possibly facepalm moment for everyone, but who sung 10 times a lady? Was that what it was called? Or 3 times a lady, was it? Or was it 10? There were quite a few ladies involved in that one. Now, Jasper Hesa has got this one now running hard at Johnny Sexton, who tries to rip the ball away. He's been dropped underneath a breakdown, though. Johnny Sexton, it doesn't look too good for him currently. He is stuck and unable to get out. And also, we have got there. Do you know what, Dolly Parton, despite her age, I would, says Sebastian there, and I love Dolly Parton. And also, this is embarrassing for the top team of the Premiership. Also, what do you think of the Munster match? There's Connor. It was everything I had never seen before in a game of rugby. And it was just I don't even know how to describe it. It was one that had me on the edge of my seat from the start to the finish. And I was there, Lionel Richie. Tis indeed. 10 times or 3 times a lady? 10 times a lady, I think it is, isn't it? I'm sure Lionel Richie would have had quite a few ladies around him in his time and in his prime as well, probably even now. To be fair, Freddie Stewart getting out of mind. I think is he doing American Idol, Lionel Richie, currently? I think. Maybe. I think Berger just put the ball into touch, unfortunately, for him. But for this game, it's 40 minutes in. Have they got time for the line out? They're checking. And also 3 times, 10 times leads to alcoholism. And there is we don't play the line out, and that's going to be halftime between these two sides. So unfortunately, the best opportunity for the Leicester Tigers was right there, and they don't get to play that line out. Jameson Park, he's got a massive smile on his face. He is happy with that first half. And Leinster, they will be pretty impressed with how that first half went. And you can only assume that they're going to get stronger. Are you doing the next match? Says Connor Crowley. What is the next match, Connor? Do let me know. Is that Racing 92 versus Sale Sharks? Do let me know. But at this stage, for that game tomorrow night, it will depend, because I'm going to quickly have to do some maths in my head. It will probably depend on what time George leaves tomorrow, because we are going to be doing some filming for the Kiwi Lads and also the Kiwi Lads Extras channel. So depending on how that goes, I would say the game between the Brumbies and the Hurricanes and the Fijian Draw will finish at about 5:30 p.m. George will then come round probably till about maybe 9:30, somewhere around there. So then, depending on that, I might get 4 hours sleep before it and then do the live stream, or I may end up sleeping through, depending on how exhausted I am after the day. I guess it's so now we need David's mother's story to factor in, and then we can find out how many times a lady he is. He's Katie Dixon. It's like a quiz, isn't it? How much of a lady are you? I feel like I'm not really too much of a lady overall. I'm probably more of a lady than someone like a Tig Furlong or something like that. And is that on tonight or tomorrow? So pretty much, what time is it currently for you, Connor? I think you are afternoon, aren't you? So it will be on at 2 a.m. New Zealand time. So approximately 21 hours time from now. So I'm not too sure what time that will sit yet, but about maybe 1 p.m. or maybe 4 p.m. or something Irish time tomorrow. And I was like, OMG, buddy, you're bringing out my feminine side. And by Katie, I'll come soon. So here's Andy there as well. And also did Dan Carter. I already did Dan Carter. He is exactly 3.8 times a lady in there as well. Well, there you go. The more you know, eh? In random hours. Currently now it is going to be, it's actually a highlights of Wallabies versus All Blacks. Is it on TV? It should be, I believe. And also we have got the Anthony said, just tuned in, thoughts on the game. From what I've seen, I actually only started my live stream 15 minutes in due to doing the extra time penalty shootout between Munster and Toulouse. But from what I've seen, Leinster have been looking like the dominant side. And Leicester just seem to be struggling a little bit to be able to contain that backline that they have got. Because Leicester's backline, if they can free up their opportunities, they got a decent chance of this one. So hopefully it does take place. I've just got my pen out. That sounds bad, but I've got like a sketch pad thing. And Bonabara is 8.2 times a lady, so don't panic, boys. And then, yes, I'll definitely Katie. So here's Andy Mike as well. Listen to some Dolly Parton. And also, is it on TV? I believe that game will be. And luckily, it doesn't overlap. And Connor, it's on Virgin Media 2. Says Adam there as well. Okay, this is good to know, because currently we've got Montpellier versus La Rochelle. Whoever wins that game will be able to make their way through to the semi-final, and they will be up against the winner of Sale Sharks taking on Racing 92. So that is the game that is taking place for the semi-final. That will be, they've got Saturday, but it may actually end up being a Sunday night game for us here in New Zealand. And then Munster, they unfortunately missed out, so Toulouse, they'll be taking on the winner of this game, which more than likely will be Leinster. So for this game, or that next week's game of the semi-finals, it could be Toulouse taking on Leinster. I wouldn't mind seeing it. That would be quite an entertaining game of rugby. Looking through the benches for both of these sides, I see Michael Alatoa, of course, ex-Crusaders man. Also, they have got Ross Byrne off the bench. Namani Nadolo actually heading to the Waratahs, I do see, which is an interesting signing for them. It will be awesome to see him in action for them. Dan Sheehan, Kean Healy, they've got a great front row replacement. Reece Ruddock, they've got a great bench now that I look at it. And a few more of the names. They have got a very strong side here. Also, I use moisturizer twice a day. Do I make above 10? KDC Sebastian, also the Toulouse Munster game was insane, says Anthony. It was indeed. And I just couldn't believe my eyes at the fact that we were going to extra time. And then I couldn't believe my eyes that throughout extra time there were 3 missed drop kicks. And then from there, it just kept on going and going and going. And then we got to penalty shootout, which was the first time I've ever seen that happen in a rugby game. I was like, no, that's actually something men started for themselves way back in the day, like heels on shoes. A woman just borrowed it, says Katie Dixon. And also, are they on Saturday? I believe those games Next week, they may go one on Saturday, one on Sunday, but it's a bit tricky to tell at this stage because they haven't quite announced the times. But as soon as we know, we will be letting you guys know on our next live streams. And the Lose Month's game is insane. And also, I got that Lionel Richie song in my head now, Hamish. Says David, to be fair, not a terrible song to have in the head. At this stage, I'm thinking about making a Kiwi Lads Spotify playlist that has all the songs that we've referenced. So, unfortunately, Ram Ranch would have to sneak in there somewhere, possibly. I don't think you can do an uncensored version of Ram Ranch, though, because it literally just keeps on going and going. But maybe we have like a PG version and a non-PG version for those ones. But currently, I'm going to keep on sitting up straight. But Sebi, since we are vampires and there's an alluring creature of darkness thing for us, we're about 7 to 9 times a lady between us. And I'll also use the instructions manual when building stuff. My father doesn't approve, says Sebastian there as well. I mean, is it bad or is it just being strategic? You're saving time, really, because you're probably going to have to fix it later. I know that we tried to do it. I think it was with the desk that we just tried to do it without the book. And there were so many pieces that we were like, right, this isn't working. Going to have to get that one out. But this desk that I've got is actually a very small one. I think that will be the next thing of the Kiwi Lads situation that we will have to expand in Ram Ranch. That'll separate the men from the boys. And there, as I said, that with the mod. Yeah, it's a brutal song, I guess you could say. At the moment, we've got, has George, one moment, I'm going to check the Kiwi Lads Extras channel quickly, see whether or not George has released the video that I think he might soon. Because if he, oopsies, almost broke the keyboard. Right. I forgot what our own channel was called there for a second. Kiwi Lads Extras, what we got here. Has he uploaded one? Can Munster beat the Crusaders? Okay, no, we haven't got it up there just yet. But the studio is coming along quite nicely. We had 2 microphones out there for one of our recording sessions. Unfortunately, though, one of them didn't actually record, but the other one did. I was like, what is the soccer or the score on the La Rochelle match? And so currently in that game, it is sitting at a total of La Rochelle leading 17 points to 7. And Brittle, yeah, I agree, Billy. And those Cowboys take anything with a heartbeat, David says to Sebastian. And yeah, it's an interesting song, isn't it? Don't look it up if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you it is certainly not for the faint-hearted. I guess on your ladies' scale, Katie, how much of a lady would you say George is? How many times over would you say George is a lady? Do let me know. No matter what you say, whether you even say 0, he'll probably still get offended. So I won't tell him how many times he is a lady. Or that one. Currently now, it's a bit of a shame. Both of these games started at the same time. So we're just sitting here patiently waiting for both games to get back underway, which is never fun because halftimes always seem just that little bit longer when you know that there is a start of a game just around the corner. And also, I always wanted to be a Cowboy growing up. And yeah, I mean, it's an interesting venture. As you'd say, I was hoping you'd ask this Katie Dixon there. I mean, I guess if I get George's, I probably have to get mine as well, don't I? Which I'm not optimistic for. And also, that is a link to the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, ladies and gentlemen, in that chat for anyone who does want to check it out. Cocker Night Riders are about to get bowled out for 100 here by the looks of it, which will not be ideal for them. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Also, check out the Kiwi Lads Sport as we are on the road to 900 subscribers. We're getting closer every single day. And I'm going for La Rochelle and also the coach's ex-Munster. He's gone out and he's just turned their whole team's just turned around, hasn't it? The way that he's been going with them. Like they were able to get as far as they've ever gotten in the Champions Cup last year. And they continue to build up that momentum. They're in the quarterfinal. They're looking like they're going through to the semis. And they've just got such a good base at the moment. And we used to have a costume parties as kids. 9 out of 10 were dressed as vampires and 1 cowboy. I kid you not, says Sebastian. I mean, it's probably an easy one to find a costume for, isn't it? I guess you could say the vampire, not the cowboy. And I'll be honest, if I didn't come as Harry Potter for the Halloween live stream, I was very close to ordering a cowboy, or not a cowboy outfit, a vampire outfit, because of how much we did talk about it in the past. But yeah, I couldn't really find one on short notice, which sounds like such a weird thing to say. And I'll say you and George just set up a Kiwi Lads music list. I think we should. And just have that everyone can let us know song recommendations that like you guys would like to see. Because I've got my 100-hour power tower, as I've called it, which is pretty much songs from all generations and it's got like 1,600 songs in it. But I feel like a Kiwi Lads unique one would be pretty awesome to see. And also, George beats up old ladies on Red Dead Redemption. Throws Hamish's hogtied body off the top of the staircase onto the dining room table, and then sets a saloon on fire. He has exactly 0 times a lady. And there, I think that is exactly what he would want to be. I guess now it's mine, isn't it? I feel like I'm more times a lady than I probably would like to be. That sounds very weird for anyone who's just tuned into the live stream. We're referring to the Lionel Richie song, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that one. Currently now, halftime is just about over between these two sides, which I'm glad to see. I love when the game's on rather than the halftime, although I do enjoy the halftime randomness that we do encounter throughout these live streams as well. I feel like it makes it just that little bit better. Ram Ranch, special stream where you wear a cowboy hat and you're topless, says Sebastian. I thought you'd never ask. No, we won't do that. And also, sure, says Blair. For that one, so yeah, it wouldn't have been the best time for people to tune in with it for that one. But actually, Kolkata Knight Riders lost that game by quite a bit. And could Leicester lose this game by quite a bit? Do let me know your score time or full-time predictions for the score, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, we are sitting 5:25 a.m. here in New Zealand. And this game, we did actually miss the first 15 minutes of it, unfortunately. But then at the same time, fortunately, because we did get to see extra time take place on that other match between Munster and Toulouse. So the winner of this game will face off against Toulouse in the next match of the Champions Cup, which is actually next weekend. So it is all action going. And then not only that, next weekend we have got Super Rugby, and then we get to build into Toulouse, which will be the matchups taking place for the women's sevens, the men's sevens. Then we will also have Super Rugby, URC. What else is on next week? There is quite a bit. The NRL, if we ever end up finding time to do one of those games. I really want to do more. But Thursday nights, I've learned, is my time that I'm editing flat out for the 12 videos of previews and lineups that we have got. So, yeah, that hasn't quite worked out for myself recently, I guess. But other than that, we've got some free time on like Tuesday. But the lineups haven't been announced on Tuesday, and no one plays on Tuesdays for ourselves, sadly. But the next game that is taking place, it is Racing 92. They are going head-to-head up against, it will be Sale Sharks. Whoever wins that game does go through to take on the winner of La Rochelle versus Montpellier. And also, and here I was thinking at the start, that Ram Ranch was one of the sources selected at Subway. Yes, certainly anything but that. That actually reminds me of a story about Subway from the other day. Isaac, he did end up, he was taken, I think it was a week off work due to being a bit unwell. So from that, I did end up deciding, since I've got his address, I sent him 12 Subway cookies. No sub, because he was like, I can't have a sub because I've cooked tea. So we're not having that. Pretty much. So like, yeah, I didn't want any food per se for tea. So I was like, right, I just send him 12 cookies then. So him and his girlfriend, I think they went through it in like 2 days or something. They were really loving the cookies from Subway, which reminds me, favorite Subway cookie, ladies and gentlemen, what would you decide on? And so don't worry about it. Says Katie Dixon, and also Fuff to Click is 9.7 times a lady. Says Katie Dixon, question, is he playing in the game later on? He might be. But I could also be wrong. I'm going to have to look up the lineup one moment while we have got halftime break. It is a perfect time to be able to do so, as we are still waiting for these two sides to make their way back out onto the field. I believe we're not too far away, though. At this point in time, and I'll say M&M cookies are mine. Tell you what, you would get along quite well with him because he said M&M cookies were his favourite. So I got on 6 of them. I got 4 chocolate chip and then 2 double chocolate chip as the way to go. I didn't get any hazelnut or white chocolate or any of those ones. Just more went with, I guess, the M&M. Although he said that it was slightly disappointing with the M&M because he's learned from seeing so many of them how small they are compared to the chocolate chip cookies. Well, it's going to be one of his last because he's off to Japan, right? Says it was Katie Dixon. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Or he's off to somewhere anyway. Is it Japan that he has confirmed that he will be going? And if he is, I guess it's going to be a big hit for the Sale Sharks. I think they've also lost Lou Diaga. And do y'all have the macadamia nut cookies in your Subways? I think we do. I think that is the one. Yeah, I think I might have said the wrong type of nut, didn't I? The one in Leinster looked too good. Says Marty here currently. They have been dominating that first half. Leicester Tigers, their best opportunity was at 40 minutes and 2 seconds. And unfortunately, they said that time was up, so they weren't going to be able to take that line out when they were only a few metres out from the line. But now, Leicester and Leinster are about to get back underway. Very similar names, very different in terms of where they come from. Ireland versus England, going to be an exciting one to see exactly who does come out on top. And currently, it seems like the Irish are going to be able to go on to face to lose. I'm going to have a look through Racing 92 versus Sale Sharks. Is Kirtley Bill playing? He is not. I see Finn Russell in the starting lineup, and Faf de Klerk, he is there. So, yeah, no Kirtley Bill, but it is going to be Faf de Klerk, also Ludiaga, Manu Tuolangi is there for the Sale Sharks. And then Teddy Toma, Juan Emoff, Gal Fiku. Oh, I want to watch that game, but I don't know whether or not my eyes will still be open at that point in time. And also we got the Katie says, David the Mod, and also, oh boy, here we go. Go Leinster, says Katie Dixon. It is going to be kicked off now. Has gone high, has been taken nicely. I believe that was the big number 6, Kaylin Doris. And what the hell, mate? I'm a Tigers fan, bruh, says BDG. Yeah, it certainly hasn't gone the way that they wanted it to for the first half. And, I mean, it's going to be a tough game to come back into, but I always say it, if one side scored 20 points in the first half, the opposition can score 20 in the second. We've already seen one game go to golden point, and I don't think my brain would be able to handle another golden point fixture, though. And I don't think Leicester will be going for 3-pointers here. They will be going all the way for the big money opportunity of making it through to the semi-final. Currently, this throw about to be thrown in by Julio Marchand. Was the Argentine international. The Leicester Tigers have really got a nice spread of players from Argentina, South Africa. Where else have they got? South Africa, England, of course. You've got a few players in there. I think a couple Irishmen scattered throughout there, a couple Fijians, the form of Nadolo. And then also, I feel like I could probably think of a couple other countries if I really tried to. I don't think they've got many Australians in the Leicester Tigers lineup, unless you're talking about out on the wing. Oh, Ellis Skins just having a bit of a chat there. He's saying, you don't really need to push me once the ball's gone out. Leinster should enjoy the semi-final. And Fiji, Nadolo. And the Australia, I guess you could say Lewis. Oh, I almost said Lewis Liner. I will take that back. Sebastian, please do not unsubscribe for that comment. I almost said that he plays for Leicester Tigers, which I feel like would have not been good at all. So I'm still very annoyed that Gallant is leaving. And there says BDG. And yeah, it's a shame because South Africa, they're starting to get some very good talent coming back. I know that Nkosi has now signed for the Bulls, hasn't he, rather than staying at the Sharks, which will be an interesting transfer for them. This game now 42 minutes in, and it will be the line-out form or line-out throw here for Leicester. Once again on the 22, taken nicely. It's not straight. And I'll go out the more sneezes. Alice Genge, want to fight, bro, says Katie Dixon. I was the last time we see each other, sir. Oh, see, even the joke about it, I felt sad. Like, I felt my heart drop there for half a second, Sebastian. I feel like I owe you, like, a lot of money now. I was like, okay, there, but we got Blommakis instead, says BDG. Yeah, a few big signings coming to South Africa, which is the bonus for that one. But currently now 22 metres out from the line-out will be the line-out for Leinster, and that is their own line-out. They're two very different people or two very different players, says BDG. So it'll probably take a little bit of time to adapt for that one as well. Currently 43 minutes through in this one. The thing is, like, some people have magic, or not magically just disappeared, but like they've been like, bye, see you later, and then they never come back. Like, I can't remember the reasoning behind. There was one who left for a live stream. Oh, it might have been the one who might have actually been joking about it, but they weren't joking. How they were like, you didn't do a certain game, I'm unsubscribing. And it was a game that started at like 5:45 on a Saturday. And I was like, yeah, all right, fair enough. I was like, oh, Leicester choked this. Says BDG. And also they dominated their group except the Wasps. Says BDG. And I think it's just that extra bit of pressure that Leinster bring because it's at Welford Road as well. So they've got a home field advantage here. And currently Leicester, they haven't exactly had many of the decisions going their way. They've had a couple not straight lineouts. This could be another one depending on how it ends up going. Now, James Lowe, he will be pretty happy with how that first half went for Leinster. I would think I only got to see 25 minutes of it, but it flew by for myself. So hopefully this second half goes a bit closer and a bit longer as well. It's going to be taken nicely by Leicester. And the rolling more going Julio Marchand at the back, and Nadolo will be coming off the bench, I should mention. They've got the advantage now for the Leicester Tigers. Ben Youngs goes back, little grubber in behind, and it doesn't work out. They do get, I mean, Leinster almost beat Stormers with their B team, so says BDG there. So, yeah, that's the thing. If they didn't win this game comfortably, I guess the questions would have been asked heavily, and also Leinster are just too good for any competition. And also just joined, how was the first half, says Harry Higgins. Well, a good one for Leinster. Leicester, they had a couple good opportunities, but were unable to really capitalise. And question, Harry, did you manage to catch any of the game between Munster and Toulouse, out of curiosity? Because the winner of that game, they'll be taking on the winner of this game, which currently does seem like it could be Leinster, although now Leicester 5 metres out for the rolling maul. If anyone hasn't watched that Edinburgh Wasps game from earlier today, treat yourself and watch it, says Katie. I've just realised why I don't try and do a gangster voice. Is that any good, Katie, for my kind of gangster side of things? Did I earn any street cred? Oh, okay. Nemani Nadolo now making his way out onto the field, and I believe that is for... Oh, they're actually replacing Ashton there, Chris Ashton, and also Leinster rose to lofty heights in the baptism of fire, says Katie. That is a very fancy way of saying they played good in that first half. Oh, in fact, it's actually Matthias Maroni who's going off, and Toulouse won a penalty shootout, says Marty. They did indeed. It went deep in that game, and we covered every second of it on the channel, and I couldn't quite believe my eyes. And I mean, I miss Super Rugby. I want more Super Rugby titles in South Africa. Now it's going to be the rolling maul for the Leicester side. It's gone down the Tigers. Still trying to get their way over. I caught the climax of the Munster versus Toulouse on Twitter scenes, says Harry. Yeah, about 115-minute contest between the sides. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, I haven't watched a game that's gone to a penalty shootout. I've hardly even watched a game that's gone to more than about 3 minutes of extra time. Normally, when it goes to Super Rugby extra time, a side gets a drop kick within like 3 minutes and the game's over. Whereas that one went for a full 20 minutes of territory play, and then they're kicking out the post. This is going to be a good opportunity. George Ford, wide ball. Chris Ashton goes in and scores the try now. And very nicely done. Have I been updating the try scorers list? Yes, I have, but Leicester have now added their name on the sheet. I thought it was Ashton going off the field, sorry, but it was not. Instead, they replaced Matthias Maroni, and now Chris Ashton scores the try in the 46th minute. Can Leicester fight back in this game, perhaps? It is early, but they have looked like the stronger of the two sides in the second half. And that one does end up going over for the try, and also the George emoji and the Hamish emoji. And there's us, says Katie Dixon. If anyone does want access to those emojis, it is through the channel membership, where you do get exclusive emojis and also a nice little shiny badge next to your name, which some of your badges have been changing color recently, which I have been enjoying watching for that one. I wonder who will be the first one to get the diamond badge. I think it might be yourself, Katie, or David, or Sebastian. And also Ashton got memories with him. And there says Sebastian as well. I think on my list, it will tell me who was the very first member of the channel. That's gone over. I think we actually, me, my mum and my dad, we were talking about it, and we were like, who is going to become the first member of the channel? And straight away, the three names that got thrown in there, it was Katie, David, and Johnny Blaze. Because were you a little bit after the memberships came in, Sebastian? I know that you were here from, was it, I can't even remember dates. You've even said it in the past. Was it August that you came in? No, maybe not. And I was over there. Lots of us joined in a matter of moments, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, it was pretty much the case of whoever was on YouTube at the time and randomly saw the join button, went straight on. I think it's going to be a bunch of us at the same time, says Katie there as well. And also the Kieran, the Christmas, the Try, the Out, the 10, the Billy, the George, the Hamish, the New Zealand, and the 6. You want these emojis, says Katie Dixon there. It's going to be kicked in behind. Awkward bounce of ball goes into touch. Leicester are starting to take momentum in this second half. And I'll be sorting out my membership this week, says David the Mod. And yeah, I will try my best to message YouTube again, see if they do reply. Normally they're pretty good, but I guess like they just ignored me this time, sadly. Because I did ask about whether or not, like, because are you a member of any other channels, David? And it's just ours that doesn't work, which seems weird for it. But I'm sure that there's some sort of reason behind it that they just aren't sharing with us. Oh. Was there Alice Genge closing the gap a little bit for that one? I'm going to draw Dan Cole while we have got a scrum stoppage. As you guys can tell, I'm terrible at drawing. That's not good. I need to draw like a perfect circle for his head. Nope. I cannot draw. So I might not try that. That's a big shot on Caelan Doris. The ball bounces out and it's a knock-on advantage in favour of the Leicester Tigers. The comeback of dreams could be on here for them. Leicester Tigers now, they're just going to be another try for La Rochelle, but Montpellier actually have been able to score themselves a try earlier on. It's crazy how Leicester are effectively playing Ireland, says Harry Higgins there. And been a good boy since, hopefully, says Sebastian. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. You guys who not just like the moderators on the channel, like who are stuck around for a very long time. Like, I always say, I don't know how you don't get sick of me, but somehow you don't. And you're here like week in, week out, no matter what, rain or shine, day or night. Dan Coles is a hard man to draw, I've learnt. I turned him into SpongeBob accidentally. Well, we have got another sub. It's Harry Potter going off the field. Dan Coles. It's not really. It's not a great drawing. Looked like a Scooby-Doo villain. Also, yes, I am. And it's only Kiwi Lads that's rejecting my cards. Interesting. Maybe, for some reason, deep down, our YouTube channel's like, we've taken enough money from him. You know? Something along those lines. Maybe they think we're scamming you, which hopefully they don't believe. That's a good ball. Leicester Tigers now getting closer again. They're continuing to build, and it's the characters on here are part of the reason. And there says David the Mod. And that's the thing, like, no matter what, like, anytime I see any of the familiar faces on a live stream, I know it's going to be a fun one. Even if there's like 5 people watching, if one of those people is our regular, it's just like incredible. And also, there's a great community. I love the people I've met here. I love your fam. And there says Katie Dixon. And yeah, it's just, almost through for Freddie Stewart. Finds the pop pass up. It goes backwards. It goes backwards again. And it's going back for the initial penalty to Leicester Tigers. They have turned this game around in the last 10 minutes of this game. And yep, it is. So he's going to go away. And also, I'm rich enough to scam. Says David the Mod. I'll be honest, all this slouching has made one of me gluteus maximus muscles go slightly numb. Anyone who did PE will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm kind of trying to relieve some of the numbness, which is why I'm slouching. But now, only 10 metres out from the line, the Leicester Tigers going to be sitting there ready to go for another line-out throw. They want to get themselves back in. We're now currently, last 6 penalties have all been up against Leinster. And this game, I believe, is the stat that they are showing there. But 24th minute, 29th minute, and also 37th, 42nd, 44th, and 51st. And also, yes, this community is the best. I love the fact that we always have a common subject since we're all sports fans, whereas with other people, I can't find anything to talk about, says Sebastian. And I think, who was I talking to the other day? I think it might have been Mum or Dad. I often talk to them, seeing as I'm always home. But I was saying about like the timing of the channel starting. I feel like it was like just perfect timing in a way, because at the end of the day, like everyone was going into lockdowns. Leicester are close to the line here. I might have to come back to I was about to go all deep for a second there. And yeah, I feel the most relaxed in this chat. Says Katie Dixon now going to the short side. Namani Nadolo. He's going to be held up there. And it is going to be a goal line dropout. But they're going back initially for the penalty, actually. So at least the Tigers will still have one more opportunity. But like at a time where people weren't able to look at people and talk to people face to face, like just being able to sit down, forget about what's going on in the world and watch a game of rugby or something and chat to people who also were doing the same thing. I feel like that was like such a, I was going to say precious time, but it sounded like I was turning into Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But like, it's kind of like, yeah. Say 10,000 words an hour, can't even get out a sentence to do with that one. Tyke Furlong currently out there on the field. Katie's husband, or future husband, isn't he? Now George Ford going to be kicking this one into touch. They're trying to decide whether or not it is a scrum or a line out, and they do go for the line out in the end. Another big yawn. from myself. Now currently 53 minutes through this game, and Leicester Tigers have had all of the time in this half, and it's a strong bomb, mate. Yeah, I mean, I spend more time with you guys. Like, I would say more time than with my parents, but outside of the live streams, I'm normally spending it with my parents as well. But I definitely talk a lot more on live stream than I do in real life. Like, I got a lunch that I'm going out to, and I'll probably, with it being out in public, I might just dress as Harry Potter for the sake of it. I was actually considering it, believe it or not, just to take the piss, but I decided that I better not. Let's throw that Tig Furlong emoji up in the corner. Says Katie Dixon, not throw up on Tig Furlong in the corner. A moment. We will go like this just for you, Katie. There he is. He's up in the corner. Lads, it was a great place to go to during lockdown. George is a character. There's Dave the Mod. And I think the good thing with George is you never know what he's going to say. So every live stream is something slightly different. Whereas me, I'm probably, I guess, a little bit more, I guess, like repetitive in a way. But then I always find if you do like 20 hours of live stream a week, it's hard not to repeat sentences because you've said like every word in the dictionary. I think also we found people with same interests. The mods are tremendous. Quick to clear the air fairly. There's Eric there as well. And yeah, we've picked our mods very well, I think. And yeah, I feel like I remember the old days of me doing it all. And I felt like I took way too long to get mods, and I haven't looked back ever since. Going to be backline now for them. It's going to be Ashton in the midfield. In fact, it's Guy Porter who has got that one. And joking aside, I found comfort in these streams through some tough times. Troubles at work, my parents being unwell. I know I could come out and forget about the roughness of real life, says Sebastian. And yeah, I feel like way too much. That is one thing I know. But it was just like the perfect time to put anything that was happening outside of rugby aside, or even just sports in general aside. And I was like, because that's what the emoji looks like. And there as one of the heads in the jars in Futurama. And I from South Africa, months of visitors to lose. They should have a 7 aside instead of kicking off, or a kickoff due to, or 2 aside who advances to the next match in OMG scoreboard. And there says SB, and you're currently sitting very nicely in favour of Leinster, but there could be a late comeback maybe coming from the Leicester Tigers, although Jack Conan now trying to shut it down, and they will continue to build their way forward. Now, going back. But that's the thing, even like anyone who had any troubles or anything along those lines, I feel like we built up like enough of a community that like you could say almost anything and not get like judged for it. Like the randomest stuff has been said in our chat and everyone just enjoys it. Like everyone just is weird together. And I feel like that's the best way to do it, if that makes sense. Rather than like someone being weird and everyone being like, geez, that person's weird, you're a weirdo. Everyone's just like, it is what it is. And also, we got there, Charlie has said hi as well. Welcome back. Well, sorry, I should say the other name that I've forgotten, unfortunately. Sorry, Charlie. That's going to be a quick tap taken by the Leicester Tigers, but he slips over. Welcome back, brother. There's Katie there as well. I'm sure it will come to me in a very short moment. That's a little knock on the ground from the Leicester Tigers, and that momentum has gone away. But currently, the game between La Rochelle and Montpellier is sitting 22 points to 19. The thing is, when they were down by a lot, Montpellier, I had a slight suspicion that they would come back to win. I didn't say anything, which I probably should have, because it would have been a decent goal. But I still feel La Rochelle might be able to take it. But I just thought maybe Montpellier would be able to get back in a little bit more. And also, we have got there all my Muslim brothers and sisters. And there's SB. And then also, I love how all of our individual weird fits together perfectly. It makes one big, beautiful weird. Here's Katie, yeah. It's like a 1,000-piece weird puzzle. And when you put all the puzzle pieces together, it makes a bigger picture. But when you only have a few of the little ones, like, I guess, a few of the little pieces of the puzzle, it's just not quite the same. And also, Ed Mubarak, who are all Muslims as well, says the match. And also, another favorite channel, Rugby Guru, has the same kind of mods. After Strong Bears, great fun, but do the work. Shame he's offline, says Eric there as well. Because he normally, it's interesting because he used to go every weekend. There were live streams. I think he's quite busy with work at the moment. Because I have talked to him occasionally. We're actually hoping to do, we were going to do a collaboration, I think last week at some stage. He was going to get in contact with me about doing some sort of video comparing competitions but we haven't quite heard anything just yet on that one. And also we got there, thanks, Scrum. And that one has gone high, and it does go into touch for Jamison Gibson Park. The thing is, they're saying about how Leinster needs to find a way of just keeping their head cool, calm, and collected here. Hey, I recognise him. That's Paianga Mosa playing for Montpellier. I know he's signed for them, but I don't think I've seen him in action yet. I love Guru Streams, says Katie Dixon, and also we have got the Kiwi Lads. It's a great place for those of us who may maybe a bit strange in reality, says David. That is the perfect way to summarize it. Like, I am not I wouldn't say I'm not a normal person, but I just, like, out in public, I'll say like 3 words. But I think from doing these live streams, that's changed. Like, I wore a beanie down the main street in like 30-degree temperatures just because I was like, oh, well, might as well. Like, I dressed as a wizard and I went out in public. Well, kind of out in public. It was our front lawn, but still kind of out in public, I guess you could say. People saw us. And I just didn't care. And now, it's gone through the hands of Namani Nadolo once again. He's having a shocker since coming out, and Heart to Guru. And thanks, and good you appreciate. And there says Eric, yeah, I do. I have a lot of respect for the Rugby Guru. At the end of the day, like, he collaborated with us when we were on 83 subscribers or somewhere around that mark. And we did our rugby video or rugby bingo video. I actually pitched the idea to him. He was sitting on about 900 subscribers at the time. And he was willing to collaborate with us. And that was our first ever collaboration on the channel extremely early. Also, we have got that Guru actually predicted that Spain would get punished and Romania would take their spot at the World Cup. I feel like I owe him. See Sebastian there as well. And wouldn't it be great if we could all meet up at the Rugby World Cup like an entire week of Kiwi Lads chaos, says Katie. That would be a very dangerous weekend, but it would be an absolutely, it would be a memorable one. I know that certain people, like bigger YouTubers, they kind of do like a big cruise and whatnot. But I don't think we'll be renting out a cruise ship anytime soon, but maybe a trip to a stadium as it's rugby or cricket match. I don't know. Here's SB for this one. It is a rugby matchup between the two sides, but cricket coming back very soon. We have got the June test matches between New Zealand and England, and also a few other matches taking place relatively soon. But 59 minutes through this game currently, 20 points to Leinster and 7 to the Leicester Tigers, currently being played at Welford Road. Well, this game, please inform me, says SB. So, yeah, this game, rugby, but cricket coming very soon on the channel as well. Currently now, they are just having a stand up in the front row. Alice Gen just not too happy. I think it is because of the extra time that is being used up on the board currently. Still only 20 minutes. 20 minutes feels way too short. And also, Leicester doing all the playing at the moment. Leinster overrated. And there's Izzy Spock. They started the match brilliantly, Leinster, but I think something's changed for Leicester Tigers in the second half, and they seem to have found that momentum that they were after in the later stages of the first. So, at the end of the day, it's one of the top sides, or the number one side in the URC versus the number one side in the Gallagher Premiership currently on the table. So, Leicester, they did have a fight in them, and luckily we are now getting to see it. Jamison Gibson Park, flat ball off to Robbie Henshaw. Everyone's starting to juggle the ball a little bit. I don't know whether or not it's getting slippery out there currently. Nice pop pass up to Caelan Doris on the inside. Stolen back by George Ford, and the silky hands from that man to be able to catch that ball and find the pass straight away. Now firing it back into the pocket, and George Ford kicks it downfield. It's gone over there to Jamison Gibson Park. Goes towards the touchline. Just waiting for that one. It's going to go into the in-goal area once again, and Jamison Gibson Park picks it up, puts it down. And that will be now a 22-metre dropout. Goal line dropout. Oh, thanks. I went to see Kiwi's cricket match. And this is SB. And yeah, it is going to be not too far away. Are you looking forward to England versus New Zealand? That will be an awesome one. And also, I think there's a few other matches taking place very soon as well, isn't there? And also, get Kiwi Lads together, or Kiwi Lads get together, says David. So yeah, I feel like if I'm ever in the North Island of New Zealand, I feel like my goal is to meet yourself, David. Johnny Blaze, I feel like I owe him a huge amount of gratitude as well, as he has stuck around since like our first 50 subscribers on the channel, and he has been here ever since. Sent me the Chiefs kit as well. And then yourself, David, I feel like we need to either go for a few kicks at goal, but I realize that's probably not what you would be keen to do. You'd probably rather watch a game of rugby and have a few beverages throughout it, possibly. Thanks. I'm waiting to see. Oh, no, I read that one. Never mind. Forget that one. Or a moment, but now Caelan Doris with a good run forward. And I'll say, yes, let's meet up in Rotorua for Crankworks. There's Katie Dixon. Now fire back into the pocket. And it is kicked downfield once again. And I mean, if I'm ever in Romania for any strange reason that I end up in Romania, I might wake up and randomly be like, okay, I'm in Romania for some reason. I will be sure to try and find my favorite vampire in the process. A Bay of Plenty it is. Says Sebastian there as well. Imagine renting like a holiday house with just the Kiwi lads, you guys on a lake. Is there a lake in Bay of Plenty? That's going to be Jack Conan possibly scoring. No, he doesn't. Well, it's taken back by Jasper Visa. Sam Kane can barbecue for us. Says Katie Dixon there as well. And now that might be taken back by Jasper Visa. Was initially charged down by Jack Conan. Then he grubbed it in behind, and then nicely done by Jasper Visa. I believe 5 meters out. It was Harry Potter, who hasn't had a magical game so far. Sorry, I had to do it. Jack Conan, though, was running after it. And he was taking it back into the in-goal area. It was better than having a try scored against them, though. But now 5-meter scrum, and they'll have big Jack Conan off the back. It looks like there's going to be another try scored by La Rochelle now in their game. So they continue to build up just a little bit more of a lead. It's my birthday today. Says Luke, there's a happy birthday, mate. I hope you are enjoying your day, Leinster man. I believe you did say earlier on. I could be wrong there, though, but hopefully they do get themselves a winning present for yourself. And there are a couple changes being made by Leinster. And that will be Healy coming off the field, Furlong, or Healy coming on the field. Alala Toa also making his way out there onto the park for this game. And yeah, Leinster, says Luke. So yeah, hopefully they can get themselves a win. Steaks and burgers and lots of fries. Bring the girls and bring the guys. I guess in that case, it's bring the girl. Unless Novmum. Maybe Novmum comes as well. And yeah, Leinster. Yeah. You got to get a pool table. I feel like it needs a pool table, a dartboard. What else can you get? Table tennis table. We'd just rent a lads pad. The Kiwi lads pad for a weekend. Just do it. I don't know when this is happening, ladies and gentlemen. I should mention. I mean, we've got to get people from Romania, South Africa, USA as well. So that's probably going to be a relatively tricky venture to link up. But eventually, I'd love to do it. Cornhole, we need a cornhole board as well. And great ideas, friends. For 14 Lakeston, Rotorua. 14 Lakeston. One moment, I'm going to have a look. 14 Lakes in Rotorua. Rotorua. Okay, I think I put it wrong because, wait, 14, oh no, a great idea, friends, 14 lakes. Okay, that is making sense because I have just seen the list of lakes in there. One's called the Green Lake. I don't think we'd go there. I think we'd go to somewhere that has blue water rather than green. And also Katie Dixon, thanks. And there says Luke as well. Currently now about to be a scrum feed for Leinster. That scrum actually took quite a wee while to get set down. Now Jameson gets a bark about to put this ball in. It's another scrum reset. Is the time off? Yes, it is. Time is now turned off. And also we have got their best wishes, Luke. Luke. Says Eric. And also we have got the I just want to swim in a river again. Says Katie Dixon there. I'm sure that can be arranged. We'll find a river somewhere, I guess, and leave me by the river. I'd like to think that you come back at the end of the day, though, and you thought it was an address. So did I. Says Sebastian, I did as well. I'd searched it up exactly how he had written it. But, yeah, 14 lakes in Rotorua. So plenty of them. Another nice place, Wanaka, would be brilliant. Although the problem is we want to limit how many people have to travel, like to different regions. So, of course, in the North Island, I think we've got a few more kind of people situated, so it would be a little bit easier, I guess you could say. So, yeah, either that, or if we did go somewhere in the South Island, I think Wanaka, George would love it. His parents have a house in Wanaka. I wonder how much we would have to pay him to convince him to let us use it. It doesn't have the lake nearby, but it is a short walk to town, I believe, or about a 10-minute walk, maybe 15. We can drive. We'll just drive. Be easier. There's a bakery on the main street. It's a Four Square, which is a supermarket. So you can get all of your Kiwi classics. Now, currently 65 minutes into this game. And, oh, yeah, 10 out of 10. And there says Katie Dixon. Okay, Alice again just saying, watch the scrum now between him and Michael Alaratoa. Currently, La Rochelle, they are leading 22 points to 19. It'll be the scrum. Oh, Alice Genge having a bit of a struggle there. He's gone down. Now near side, Jack Conan does break off the back. And they are still only 5 metres out. Oh, that's going to be a penalty advantage against George Ford. And now, once again, the referee gets in the way. That one right. Leinster might consider just taking on the 3 here because that will give them a more than 2-try lead. And that might be just what they need to be able to go through to the next stage. Yes, they will take on the post. Ross Burns says straight out in front. I'll be having that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, Conan. He's a dangerous man anytime he gets a little bit of space. Or something else that's got to have a massive TV to watch rugby on. We've got to have a weekend of watching rugby and also just chilling. I feel like I don't really chillax. I shouldn't have said chillax, should I? I don't really chill that much in my time. So I feel like when it happens, if it's in like a few years' time, it's probably going to be my first like couple days off. We need a couch, mate. The Kiwi Lads couch. Drive around the country. I'll drive, a coach, sorry, not a couch. And also I'll drive. I don't even have a bus category on my permit, but I don't care, says Sebastian. I mean, it's a kind offer. I'm sure we could also rent a coach, save you driving, and then you would also be able to drink, which I'm sure you would be happy with. There's Katie Dixon there as well. Well, that one, but currently now the score is 23 points to Leinster and 7 to Leicester here. And the bots are here, y'all. And there they certainly are. We will not be inviting the bots on any trip to a lake. But yeah, I like Wanaka because it's also got that whole side of things of, it's got the lake, it's got the renting of the kayaks, those kind of pedalos, I think they're called. Wakeboarding, you can kind of do everything there, and it's all kind of nicely situated. But Rotorua, maybe we do like a Kiwi Lads trip one year and then a Kiwi Lads trip another. Although, of course, for the Romania and USA side of things, it's probably quite a long trip. I'll get around on a Razor scooter. So here's Katie Dixon there. It's going to be taken nicely by Freddie Burns. Now puts the ball up high and we'll be chasing it. Taken very nicely, and that will be the mark from about 10 metres out. And James Lowe, he will be relatively happy to slow this game down just a little bit longer. As they have got themselves a bit more of a comfortable lead than the La Rochelle game. Currently 25 points to 19. I'll travel down only if I can beat Gandalf in there. I've just had the funniest image in my head of the gang, or not the gang, we aren't a gang, of course, but all just sitting there. That's going to be a scrum feed for Leicester there for not actually taking that tap quick enough, I think it was for James Lowe or something along those lines. But yeah, just everyone dressed up as characters from Harry Potter hitting the main street. And all I need is a Razor scooter and a backpack and I'm good on my maintenance. Yo, so here's Katie Dixon. So James Lowe, he couldn't quite believe that there was a penalty against him, but it's a big mistake. I mentioned about him trying to slow it down, scoot squad in the SSKD. But now it is 68 minutes through almost, or 67 and a half minutes through this game. So I'd have to convince George to come as well, I think. And longer for me, Katie, is close to the west coast of the USA. Not that long of a flight, whereas me, I literally have to fly halfway across the globe and a Hermione Granger costume. So here's Katie Dixon there. So we'd certainly have to try and make it more than, like, even if the trip was a weekend, we'd have to get you over here for like a good couple weeks at least, Sebastian, to make it worth the massively long flight that you would have for yourself. I think it's called tiki touring, isn't it? And a Hermione Granger costume. So there's Katie Dixon there for. So they just see Hermione Granger like driving down the main street on a Razor scooter and a backpack. And yeah, I could be in Los Angeles in 2 hours. So the flight from my house barely counts. And when you think about crossing the whole dang Pacific Ocean, so here's Katie Dixon there as well. Yeah, it's a long flight. I'm going to have a look. Romania to NZ flight. You're looking at $2,000 for a flight. Jeez. Hasn't got how long it is. 1 day, 3 hours, I think I saw it. Yeah, 1 day, 3 hours plus. Two stops, flights to 4 cities. Well, that one, and you can go for 1 day, 22 hours. So yeah, you're pretty much looking at 2 days to get here. And now it's a penalty to Leinster. Couple meters out from the line. They will be loving that one indeed. Very, very nicely done. But Michael Alalatoa doing brilliantly there. He has really caused some problems for Alice Genge in the front row, and he's not too happy about it either, Alice Genge, although saying that man would get angry at almost anything, the way that he plays out on the field. But then as soon as he's off the field, he is a little bit, I guess, more calm. And I think I'd take a boat. I don't like airplanes anymore after the turbulence from last time I flew, says Katie Dixon. I think a boat would take quite a while. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of, I guess you could say, like ferries overall, just because we had one boat ride that we had from Stewart Island, or from the South Island to Stewart Island, and everyone was like, it's going to be completely fine. You know, it's not even that choppy, and the boat literally felt like it was going to tip over. And also, I'd need to bring my entire porn stash on the plane. And then so to survive that flight, it's going to be now another ball going the way of Leinster, and they will have the scrum feed. Oh dear, my political podcast is starting. I should go really nah. Can I be the Wampings tree? There's Eric there. Currently 10 minutes left in this matchup between the two sides, and then it is going to be about 6:15 a.m. New Zealand time. And I believe what we are going to be doing is straight after this game, we'll probably end up having some food while also editing the Fiji and Drua versus Hurricanes preview video that is going up on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. And then from there, we will end up, I mean, that's the thing, could go up on the main channel, depending on how I go, depending on what thumbnail I go with as well. Also, I would definitely invest in a longboat ride across the Pacific. I'll treat myself to that. And Sebastian, yep, as soon as he said a Wanaka or whatever says, or Wankanara, I haven't heard of that one. But it's interesting. They also have a shot in Wanaka, which has claybird shooting, mini golf, archery, small bore shooting, a couple other ones as well, which would be pretty awesome. A driving range. I might have said that. But now going off, it's a free kick in favour of the Leicester Tigers. They have not given up in this contest yet, especially if I land in New Zealand and can hang out with the Kiwi Lads fam. And there says Katie Dixon. Yeah, that's the thing. It might be a very long boat ride. I definitely invest in a long boat ride across the Pacific. I'll treat myself to that. Says Katie. So I guess you'd consider maybe like a cruise. Something along those lines. Now it's another knock on. This game has been back and forth. Handling error after handling error. Harry Potter has put that ball down. Unfortunately, he hasn't had the best game. 7 handling errors for the Leicester Tigers. I'm going to slightly slouch down again. It's quite comfy, isn't it? Oh, they're checking for an HIA. I think I've heard, but currently in the game between La Rochelle and Montpellier, it is now 28 points to La Rochelle to 19 of Montpellier. So more than likely they'll be going through and they'll be taking on the winner of Sale Sharks. And they will be up against Racing 92. Should be a good go. I would like to stay up for that one, but if I do end up sleeping through it, I can guarantee you we've got Super Rugby next week. We've also got the Champions Cup that we will be covering both of the semi-final fixtures. And also, unless I can get my sister to fly me there. Says Katie Dixon, is your sister a pilot, Katie? Or does she just own a plane, perhaps? And how big would her plane be? She'd probably have to have a few stops, wouldn't she? Along the way, and also, I'll trust her. Says Katie Dixon. Now, Gregory Aldred running down the wing for La Rochelle. That was a forward pass, and no one's seen it. Surely they go back for that one. I think it's going to continue playing just for now, but it looks like an HIA here for one of the Leinster players. A hit from Newcastle. And there says Eric. Now 72 minutes. And O'Brien's going off the field. And just out of curiosity, Hamish, when you have the chance, could you ask Donna how many hours did she fly when she came over, or when she came over to Europe? And there says Sebastian, I can do. I'm going to star that. In fact, I'm going to do one better. I'm going to take a picture of it, because or else then I will probably forget with it being 6 a.m. Although she might actually be up before I end up going to bed. So I will take a screenshot of that. I think she went to quite a few different countries, though. Which is quite cool. She kind of went on that tiki tour of all around the place of Europe. Did she go to Romania? I can't quite remember. I think she said she didn't end up going to Romania in the end. Yeah, would be a nice place to go to Romania. I quite like the look of it. Other than, of course, the beers at the primary schools. You got to get rid of those. But if we can avoid those and we can get some good old jumpers, I am keen. And she and her boyfriend have invested in a few planes. They want to start a business where they charter people on holiday back and forth to the Bahamas, to the island where you can swim with the pigs. There's Katie Dixon. Sounds like quite the idea, really. So I guess Bahamas, you'd have to have quite a bit of fuel in the tank, wouldn't you? That's going to be a knock-on from Robbie Henshaw. Now, it is going to be the Leicester Tigers. There have been about 7 knock-ons in the past 3 minutes, or maybe 7 minutes. And about a knock-on a minute here, and just handling error after handling error Just why this game hasn't really had too much of, I guess, anything happening in the last little while. The old Pirate Republic. And there's Sebastian. Only 6.5 minutes left. And it looks like Nick Dolly about to make his way out onto the park. And that will be for Julio Montoya. What's the starting number 2 for this game? Another yawn for myself. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we have got the game of Super Rugby coming up a little bit later on today. It will be at 3:35 p.m. that one is kicking off. We will be starting at about 3:30, maybe even 3:25 for the game. And they live in St. Pete, Florida, and they are, which is just a stone throw away. And also, Nassau was the hangout spot of the pirates back in the 18th century. I'm trying to get my pen out of my thingy, and I was trying to do it secretly, but it didn't work, unfortunately. I was going to write down the time of the game and also work out the semi-finals of this one. So Toulouse, at this stage, they will be taking on Leinster. I believe that is a home game for Toulouse, but I could be wrong there. It's a penalty to Leinster there in the breakdown. And then it will be on the other side of the draw, La Rochelle. They will be taking on the winner of Racing 92 or Sale Sharks. And that game is happening at 2 a.m. tomorrow, New Zealand time. There we go. Bit of maths. Well, not really maths. Well, it was a bit of maths, I guess. Michael Alatoa has been an absolute menace for Alice Genge in this game. And I missed that pirate. I'll miss the pirate theme that was all over the state. Everything was pirates. We had an annual pirate invasion festival. And there, that one has not found touch this game. Leinster just keeping Leicester in it right up till the final whistle currently. But they will need a try, and they'll need it soon. And then they'll need another one, and then they'll need another one. 3 tries in 6 minutes for them to be able to win this game, or 2 tries and 1 extra 3-pointer. It's going to be taken nicely by Luke McGrath, the replacement halfback for Leinster. Now, Michael Alatoa passes it back across into the hands of Kian Healy. Got that one very nicely done. Firing it back once again into the pocket, and it will be kicked high from Harry Byrne, or Ross Byrne in fact it was, and it's called Gasparilla, and it's like Mardi Gras. And there says Katie Dixon. So I guess it would be a lot of pirates then. In that case, do they have is it near a water kind of situation? And do they have pirate ships that turn up? Do let me know. Now, George Ford back out the back line, and it goes into the hands of Namani Nadolo, who is looking actually more solid than ever. Too bad the Bahamas is among the only places in the Caribbean where you can't watch some cricket. If you're in the West Indies, you have to go to the cricket game. See Sebastian there as well. That's a little bit similar to what they had in the Fiji and Drua game up against the Highlanders. They made it so that it wasn't on TV, so people had to go to the game. Alice Genge now with a bump off, running straight sideways, trying to find that physicality in the later stages of this matchup with only 4.5 minutes left, though. He was running low, and also, yes, it's in Tampa Bay. And there, also lots and lots of water, says Katie Dixon. And now it's going to be stolen in the breakdown, almost by Leinster, but taken straight back by Leicester. Now, in the hands of the replacement halfback. Oh, it's going to be another knock-on. Oh, no. It's just knock-on after knock-on currently, unfortunately, in the last 10 minutes. I don't know whether or not there is maybe a little bit of moisture there. And while the NFL team is literally the Buccaneers. And there as well. There's Sebastian. There you go. I want to watch more in it. No, I don't, because Sebastian doesn't like NFL, does he? I'd like to watch more off live stream. But then saying that, it's very long. I feel like if I was to choose between NRL, NFL, or AFL, I'd probably go NRL first, then AFL, then NFL. But I wanted to watch more of the NBA, but I haven't really had too much of a chance of watching that one. Maybe next year. They're at the playoffs currently. I feel like I got to watch it from the get-go to really get my bearings for it. Also, I mentioned the NFL. What has happened to me, says Sebastian. And then, yup, you beat me to it. There's Katie Dixon there as well. But Alice Genge getting greeted by one of his teammates as he has been taken off the field. It was a rough game for him in that scrum. It was not easy at all. Thomond Park, he is the Heineken star of the match. Well, this game, he's pretty happy with himself at the moment, Thomond Park, as he does feel that Leinster have done enough to make their way through to the next round, and that will be to take on Toulouse. That will be next week, and we will be live on the channel for that game, and also the game taking place between La Rochelle and their opponents, either Sale Sharks or Racing 92. My prediction for that one's probably Racing 92 to be able to win it, but you never know with the lineup that we have got for the Sail Sharks. Currently time is off. 4 minutes left. There we go. Had to finish the bargain. Well, not the bargain, the beverage. Well, I guess it was a bargain in a way. I just realized I've accidentally scratched myself with the pen a few times. And the worst thing is, like, I mark way too easy. So, like, I could literally touch my hand and then it would bruise. More than likely, but Ken Healy looks like he's going to be going off for an HIA. This might be Andrew Porter making his way back out onto the park now. I don't think they would have been wanting to lose too many players due to injury in the later stages of this one. But Ken Healy goes off. Andrew Porter does go back on. And now the clock is back on for this game between Leinster and Leicester. I will be honest, the last 10 minutes of this game has felt like about 30, but that is because of all of the scrums that we have had and a lot of scrum resets throughout that time as well. It's gone down in the front row. Guess what? It's another scrum reset. I think it's taking the wind out of the sails just a little bit, pardon the pirate pun there. But hopefully we're going to get to see this scrum work because only 3 minutes left on the clock. Andrew Porter back out there. Oh, they've said that he's actually a tight head prop and a loose head prop. There was half a squeak that came out of my voice there when I went really high for that one. It kind of went, ah. No, it didn't work that time. That just sounded weird. Now ball fed in. And now Leinster, a lot of pressure from the Leicester Tigers. The ball is available at the back, or is it? It's a penalty to Leicester Tigers. Once again at scrum time. They have been having a back and forth battle at scrum time here. It is the number 1, Andrew Porter, who was penalised going down on the far side, I believe it was. Oh, so you are a pirate. And there it says, KG Dixon now only 5 metres out from the line. Scrum penalties, 3 each for these two sides. So that is why we've had so many scrum resets. Because we have plenty of them. Raymond Rule is just flying down the wing for La Rochelle. They might be able to get themselves another try before the end of this game. Currently sitting at 80 minutes. Montpellier does end up getting themselves a penalty. Remember my gay pirate dialogue, Hamish? I do. Never ended up actually. Was it a book or a dream that you had written? But it was one of them, and it never quite got published. So perhaps it could still be a future venture for yourself. It was like erotica, wasn't it? Now currently rolling more for Leicester, and also we have got their Pirates are cool. Says David, and also we have got their would not be shocked if all Pirates are gay. Says Katie Dixon. Now rolling forward, Nick Dolly's got it at the back, and he's starting to march. Waiting for the chance to fall, and he does just that. Nick Dolly down, and he's got the try. And it will be a last-minute try for the Leicester Tigers. Still 1:20 on the clock, and it looks like they're going to try and get themselves one more in a very short moment, maybe. Nicely done by Nick Dolly. I think they're also accepting the fact that they aren't going to be able to win this game, and that one was just going to be another one ticked on the board for the Leicester Tigers, but we will go like this and we will go like that as well. And also, lol, what's going on? And Arg, where's the treasure? You're a treasure. And then also, come on, you Betty, show them how it's done, says James Flynn. And currently, it's going to be a big old matchup for the semi-final. Toulouse taking on Leinster. That's a massive match. That is the equivalent of a final right there, but we are going to get to see it as a, I guess you could say, a pre-final because it is a semi-final matchup. I actually love that. Here's Katie Dixon there as well. I feel like it could become a movie as well, perhaps, if the crowd and the popularity is there for it. Now only 20 seconds left, and I believe it is going to be now kicked off with only 15 seconds left. Pirate, pillage, and plunder, don't think they. And there it says David Amard. Now it is Jasper Visa once again making his way up to the 22-metre line, and it seems like Leinster should be able to keep them without another try on the board. The question is whether or not Leicester decide to risk going for one more or whether they decide that they do want to end their day. James Lowe goes straight over the middle. Now Leicester around the side. That is going to be the full-time siren that we can now hear. Good luck to the director if it ever turned into a film. And also that's Booty. And there says Katie Dixon now backline movement. Namani Nadolo going to be tackled hard, driven backwards as well. And because of it, I believe, it was almost stolen by Leinster. They will be hanging on to it for just a little bit longer. Wide cutout pass off to Harry Potter, who has to spin out of that challenge. And now that was almost obstruction, but they are going to allow it. Now only 5 meters out from the line. And Leinster with the counter ruck. They are going to get this ball back, I believe. Or is it stuck? It is going to be the clean turnover for Leinster. And they are only going to be a few meters out. I think they're going to go for one last try. No, he doesn't. Kicks it into touch, Ross Byrne. And the crowd, they would have been a little bit disappointed that they didn't try and go for one last try, being so close to the line. But they do win this game. And that will be 23 points to 14. Leinster, they will be going up against a loser in the next round of the Cup. And also another game that did just get played was La Rochelle. They were able to beat Montpellier. So they are going to be going through to the semi-final stage. And also great commentary, Hamish. Says David the Mod. Do appreciate you, mate. And I do appreciate all of you guys being here for this late night live stream. It's currently 6:20 a.m. here in New Zealand, or as I like to call it, lunchtime. So I am probably going to end up having a snack, doing some editing, going to bed for a couple of hours, waking up, and then we have got our Mother's Day lunch. And then after that, we've got the the Hurricanes taking on the Fiji and Drua for that matchup. And also congrats Leinster and Toulouse and their Sebastian for that one as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that semi-final matchup. It's the equivalent for me as a final, but it's not the final, if that makes sense. Whoever wins it, we might get to see Toulouse versus La Rochelle in the final of the Champions Cup again, which would be, I guess, once again, a very interesting matchup. See how it does end up going. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one a little bit later on in the afternoon. I will see you all later.